out of Egypt, of course, you have an opera called Aida, and it's people leaving Egypt, and they need a special stage because elephants and tigers and lions are included in the performance. Walt Disney made a movie. I've been trying to find it, but I can't find it anywhere. The Aida is part of the word Diana. And when they reach the North American continent, they have traveled across the Pacific and hopscotched the islands, where they hit at about the 55th parallel, and they're called the Haida Indians. Haida. They carry two very special things with them. One is the totem pole, and the other one is the large canoe. And of course, the totem pole had its origin in Africa. And the large canoe is the basis of the boats from which the Vikings evolved sailing ships.
Now, this Ida, is that linked to that one lady? I think she was the queen. Her name was Frida, I think her name was.
Well, in the Viking mythology, the fourth child of Eric the Red.
Oh yeah, she dropped off the stone. The tablet.
It's called Frida. All of the stuff is, if you have the time and the money,
yeah,
the rest of your life, everything's linked.
Yeah, all these words are the stuff I've seen you post in like 2003.
Yeah.
And then they make more sense now that you mention them.
It's a matter of having an open mind, asking yourself the question, is it possible? Never mind, is it probable? Start with, is it possible? And is it possible humans were hermaphrodites? Yes, it is. Is it possible that they evolved by genetic engineering along with the natural selection? Yes, it is. Is it possible they were made in different batches at different times? Yes, it is. Is it possible that you can make people of different colors, different sizes, different type of hair, different color of eyes, different color of skin? Yes, it is. So once you know that it's possible, then you go to the next step. Is there any evidence that there was a society prior to the Ice Age that was further technologically advanced than what we know? Never mind in what field. Is there any sign? Yes, there is. If they were technologically advanced 40,000 BC, could they have made humans? Yes, it's possible. Now, you're not going to get first-hand evidence unless you're born again, and not through the religious sense, but reanimated through your DNA. Unfortunately, most people forget if they lived before and were reanimated. But there is no doubt that the Egyptians and their mummies were working at it, that the Vatican had been given instructions on reanimating coprolite during the Crusades to the Middle East. All of these words are attached to the word ruse, Jerusalem. And therefore, one must always ask, what's the RU for? It's for the ruse. See? So
you'll see that.
It's not a matter of first-hand proof you're looking for. In a court of law, very few people attend murders and are then able to testify. What you have is the presentation of a case based on circumstantial evidence. And there's a point in that introduction of circumstantial evidence that is the same thing as is used by astronomers. It's basically when you have reached that point that you must say the evidence has become preponderantly in favor of this opinion or that opinion. It's overwhelming if it's preponderant. And if you look in the sky and you see everything turns around an orbit, and then all of a sudden you see that the orbit is no longer elliptical but is doing something funny, and you can't see the reason for it, the preponderance of all the evidence suggests that if it's not turning in an orbit that is normal, something you can't see is attracting it. And although you can't see it because it may be hidden behind the sun or whatever, you have to accept the fact that there's something there. In a court of law, you have to accept the fact that if the preponderance of the evidence suggests guilt, the person has to be found guilty. If it suggests not guilty, the person has to be found not guilty. Well, anybody with a functioning brain, and there are very few of them these days because they've been programmed not to think properly, and not just before birth, but during the social engineering as a child and through remote control for the rest of their lives. They're told not to do the thinking the way they were originally made.
Yep.
When they were originally made, they had this medulla in their neck whose task it was to retrieve intuition from the spinal column, gray matter, and bring it to the gray matter in the brain, match the two things together before they make decisions. Now that doesn't happen anymore because genetically they've engineered the medulla to do something else. What it says and what it used to say at the beginning was, is this right or wrong? Is this good or bad? Is this evil? That doesn't happen anymore. People don't think that way anymore. They've been genetically manufactured to stick that aside. And the question the brain asks is, am I safe? Not am I right, not am I doing good, am I safe? Am I going to be in danger if I go down this path?
And that's what that was all about. Like in the Bible, it was like Pavlov knew how to brainwash people with the dog. Like, am I safe if I do this? Depending on how to master.
And the one who basically worked this out is my wife.
Yeah.
Because she deals a lot more with feelings than us males.
Yeah.
And therefore, it became obvious to her in the context of what we were speaking of that that was the major difference. People no longer ask the question, is this right or wrong? Is this good or bad? They ask, am I going to be in trouble here? Are my friends not going to talk to me anymore? Are they going to laugh at me?
Glenn?
That's the problem.
Glenn?
And until you reverse that problem, you can't solve the bigger problem.
Right. Nothing more than
Somebody say
yeah.
something?
Yeah, I did. It's me.
What's up, Andy?
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
Hi, Andy.
Hey, Glenn. Yeah, talking about your wife. Your wife called me like the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but
I don't ask her questions, but she sometimes tells me of her own accord what she's done, and she told me that she called you.
oh, okay. Yeah, and basically, I mean, where she is, she told me where she is, and she's basically gonna just kind of write it out, like
She's on a raft.
where she is basically until like I guess after the event or so, and the place she is, I looked at it. It's kind of interesting. It's called Gutenberg, New York.
Yeah, it means God's temporary house.
I see.
Ogdensburg. Og is God.
Oh, Ogden. Yeah.
Den is the house. Berg
Okay.
means a portable house.
Gotcha.
Or a temporary house.
Gotcha. And I looked at
there are
the
11,000 ecclesiastics there.
Gotcha.
They know something.
Wow. I looked at the if you look the aerial photo of the town,
Yep.
it looks like the exact shape of a fish.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's like the symbol for a lot of places that I looked at that might survive the cataclysm.
Pisces.
I'm sorry?
Pisces is the fish in the zodiac.
Mm-hmm. I see. If you look at Tibet looks like a giant fish mapped out. And if you look at Manitoba plus Ontario, it looks like a giant fish as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pisces, is shaped like the number 6, the shape of a female, lays eggs. But in urine, the task that urine has is to wash out dead cells. When your body cells die, they have to be washed out. And that's basically the role of the allegory for the letter P. It's as opposed to the penultimate number 2, which is poo-poo, or caca is the term they use. Caca is valuable because it contains the DNA that can be reanimated in its form called coprolite. So what nobody else wants, genetic engineers find the most important. And it's very much like a bear goes after a beehive and destroys it in order to get at the honey, because a bear is looking for instant gratification. But a little bird standing on a tree called a honey guide waits for the bear to be finished wrecking the place. And the honey guide knows there's something there much more important than honey. It's called wax. And the honey guide goes, collects the wax, brings it over, and builds nests, infrastructure. The same allegory applies to a gold rush. When the system wants to develop an area, they will announce through the media that gold has been found. And although nobody would have gone to that area and it would have remained undeveloped, there's a rush of people who rush out to look for gold. While they're there, they're taxed at the church, at the saloon, at the hotel, at the store. And the first thing you know, they build a house, and they're taxed on their real estate. And a main street gets paved, and access gets built from taxes. And the system has obtained from them what they could never have got on their own, simply by telling them, there's gold in them there hills.
Kind of reminds me of Montana.
Yes.
The gold rush.
Absolutely. think, and you know, I don't want this to sound as an insult to anybody, because I know most of you are about half my age. I'm not any smarter than you guys. You guys are probably even smarter than I was at your age. The difference between me and you is I've lived twice as long, and I look for detail. I look for things that are out of place. I look for things that don't seem to follow the rules. Now that you guys know what it took me 57 years to find out, you should be able to do it much sooner if you know the rules of the game. Yeah. Know that the names of people are the best code they have. Leonardo da Vinci. Don't spend too much time looking at the Last Supper. Look at his name. You'll get much more information from Leon.
Why?
You'll get it from Noel.
Wow.
You'll get it from Noel. There is no L.
No L. Okay.
Take the L out of the things you're doing and read the words again. The L in the letter E is the basic structure that holds it up. That's the male. When you take the bottom line out and you're left with an F, you're left with a family without a father, and it's going to topple over, all the weight on one side at the top. Those are all mechanisms that
it's a way, it's a
people.
character.
Send the male off to war. Send them off to work. Send them to the Salvation Army, or send them to because without the male in the family, the structure is weak.
Mm-hmm. That's
it's
a
like
little
when you
more...
look at the guy who made the Pledge of Allegiance. His name was, I think his name was Bellamy or something like that.
Think of Washington. Washington. Slave comes 10 after the washing.
And it's deuce too, DC. So it's 10-10 or something. So like 10-10 wins or something.
A wash is a cleansing.
And it's going to be
first president of the United States was a dam builder. You build dams so you can destroy them at the appropriate moment in time. Just think of the Hoover Dam over up near Mike's place there. What will happen if that dam breaks? Think of the Three Gorges Dam in China, and the fact that the leader, the lawyer for that was the former Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney. That's scary. The thieves put up the infrastructure. They steal until they cleanse the place of all it has of any value, and then they destroy it. Why would you think the United States would be different than all the other empires ever built in the world? The United States shelf life expired in 1976. 484 years after the arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1492. The period since then is one of redemption. They're cashing in their chips.
Yep.
Everything you see happening in the United States since 1976 has been the cashing in of chips and the handing over of technology. And it goes through a pattern of handing it over to China or Japan or India or whatever. But I can guarantee you one thing. It will all end up in Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia. A, B, C, C. That's where it's going. Number 2 is number 1. Argentina means silver.
Mhm.
Brazil is the nurturer. It's a bra. It's holding breasts.
But it also has lies in it, too, that word.
Amazons cut off breasts to work it better. The Rockefeller family runs the Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute, who specialize in breast cancer. Why? Because they need to get in there. They need to remove the originals and implant stuff in there. A listening device inside the breast will bring more information than any other listening device anywhere.
Well, Glenn, I've been looking at like those ecclesiastic, the workers that they had in the past, and their reformers and stuff like that. And it's kind of interesting, like the means that they had of converting people.
Harm assist. A pharmacist gives you the clue.
Yeah.
Harm assist. Number 2 is number 1. So therefore, assist first, and that's what ecclesiastics do, and then harm.
Yeah. And that's what I see they do with like you were saying, you were telling me the other day about meditating and how they just.
When you meditate, you open up your brain and say, "Program me."
Yeah.
I'm stupid. Program me.
Yeah.
You should never meditate the way the Buddhists suggest. That's programming as good as they can get. What you have to do is sleep. When you go to sleep, you file the things you know in their proper places. An hour before midnight is worth 2 hours after midnight.
Okay.
Follow the sun. Go to bed at 9. Get up at 5 or 6 in the morning. Don't meditate. Don't pray. Sleep. That's what creation built into you. In any event, it's 4:51. Mm-hmm. I have one group of goats to feed before it's too dark.
Okay, Glenn.
I have to call Jennifer. So I'm sorry I can't stay around anymore. We could do this every week if you want. But for today, time's expired.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things you guys doing. So, yeah,
Hey, Glenn.
Yep.
Can I
Thanks.
ask a quick question?
Quickly.
Regarding the names, is it possible that people aren't aware that they're programmed through their name?
Absolutely. Most people are not aware they're programmed at all, let alone through their name.
So they might be following an agenda and might not necessarily know it.
Absolutely. I've been there. I was programmed. Took me 57 years to figure it out. I broke out because I worked at it.
That's good to know.
Everybody is programmed today.
That's because they don't know where they're going. They don't know their path. So, like, it's hard to know where the program's going if you don't know how you got there.
Autopilot.
Right. You gotta stop, study where you've been, where you are today, and where you want to go. And if safe is what you're looking for, don't bother doing it. Because there's nothing safe in the world, but there's a lot of things that need to be done that should be based on good or evil, right or wrong. And what we can do now is not save this universe. It's too late for that. But what we might be able to do is buy human beings 5,000 more years. And maybe in 5,000 more years, somebody looking for a critical mass won't have the problem I got today. Trying to find 13 functioning brains today without always having to deal with people who are working on a loop. You know what a loop is in computer? It's called yes, but. Yes, but. Yes, but. Yes, but. But all the yeses add up to thousands, and yet they still have a but. You know. So remember, a butt is an asshole, and people who are yes buts are assholes.
Yes, but
Have a good day. Talk to you next week or next time you call.
Okay.
We'll
call you at 2 next time.
Yeah, today's my birthday. And
happy birthday, reborn.
Oh, happy
birthday. The second time around.
What, you 71?
You're too fast. Too fast.
The second time. Last year, I was in my 69th year. Now I am 69. Bye for now.
Okay.
All right.
Later.
Thank you.
Oh?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah. Wow, it's amazing. Always amazing listening to the guy. I mean, it's just so much hidden factors that I haven't heard of.
Because like, I don't know, I look at this stuff and I'm seeing things, and I know for me doing, and I know exactly what you mean. You gotta have the money, you gotta have the time, and it's just like you're looking at all this stuff, but like there's so many things that you look at that you've looked at before you say you woke up to this point and you notice it. But then there's things that you're looking at now that you're not really, that you're gonna notice in a more detail, I guess, more meaning to it. 10 years from now, 5 years from now.
Yeah, you have to know what you're looking for, I think.
Yeah.
You gotta have a target, basically.
Yeah. You gotta know what you're looking for, and it's a method. After always looking at the stuff, you start to know what to look for and things. And it's not.
Are we at the point where we have enough targets there that we can start taking some action?
We are doing action by looking,
Yeah, right. That's part of it, but I'm talking about the actual physical action that's going to follow. That we need to continue. If unless you don't have to continue.
What do you mean? What type of
like his wife called me the other day, and we had a discussion for like almost 2 hours. And basically what she's saying is that she and Glenn discussed it, and she's trying to get people to start moving to a safer place. you know, the whole 9 yards, and what location might be the safest place. You know, where she is at is probably one of the safest places in the United States. They pull the plug, and basically, you know, she just wanted people to take actions instead of just right now, because there's not much time left. You can talk.
Yeah, I know. That's what this whole year was about for me. It was about making some type of movement, you know. And,
right. Well, I don't know who's the other person talking on the phone. I haven't heard.
I don't know. Neil, Mike, you still on?
Yeah.
And Brandon, I think.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here.
And Dana.
Oh, okay. And Dana. Yeah. Oh, okay. So we got 4 or 5 people listening in. Then. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah. And what his wife told me was a little bit something about their past. You know, I mean, when I first heard it, I was a little worried, but you know, after thinking about it a little bit, you know, I guess maybe it is true. I don't know, because she's telling me the fact that Glenn is the reconstituted DNA of Moses. She's Nefertiti, Queen of Egypt. I mean, her role was to play the mother goddess for them, basically. And she was programmed into doing what she did years ago, before she met Glenn in the conspiracy world, to what do you call it? Get into this disseminate UFOs information. The extraterrestrial agenda.
Yeah, she was like guys like David Icke, kind of like.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if she said she was David Icke's ex-wife or something like that, or.
I don't know.
I forgot to ask, but you know.
Oh, really?
No, I think
I never heard any of that mentioned. I never heard.
She's a program person at a certain stage when she was young, but her DNA won't allow it, and obviously her age is already at the end of, you know, what they can do in terms of mind programming her, and she's got one of those. Basically, she's got one of those. What do you call it? We call it the recessive gene that does not allow them to program her, basically. To I guess to a degree where, you know, they can turn her into a robot, complete robot. So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of details that she didn't discuss, but you know.
There's an anti-programming.
Yeah, it's like everybody here.
Recessive gene.
It's in everybody here. Like it's that part of you that just like.
It just cannot be controlled by anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of funny because when I was extremely young, like grade school, I had a problem with authority. Like before I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have. It's like something natural for. It seems like the youth to have a problem with authority.
Yeah, they put me on Ritalin for it.
Yeah, well, it's only natural to have a problem with authority in this world because it's everywhere. It's you know.
Yeah, and I could never understand why people would want to go along with the system. I was always against it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you have to go along with it to make money and to be able to buy a house and get married and all this stuff.
Yeah. It goes back to
all
what
about
Bill
that
was saying.
in my family.
That safe and unsafe shit, man. Like, I'm starting to, like, that really made me think now. I was just thinking about things in my life and, you know, people that I see, you know, and, you know.
It just seems to be
you gotta
like.
stay away from that, like, safe and unsafe thought process with things that you do now. I'm thinking about, like, it's kind of dangerous.
They all just seem to be they get very uncomfortable when you act a certain way. They all just seem to be finding there's something wrong with you automatically. Especially when you're not doing the right things, you're not having the right jobs, you're not looking into the right things, you know. You're not making money. You're not making money, you know, things like that. You know, just just get angry over you for some reason.
Yeah. I don't think the problem is thinking about safe or not safe. The problem is when that's the only thing you think about.
When it becomes your guider, like with decisions, like
yeah. I think what Glenn was
Dana,
saying.
You already know about the whole safe and unsafe. Like, you know, it seems like, from my point of view, it seems like people I know are doing that, and as a consequence, I don't even hear from anybody.
The safe and unsafe in terms of survival instinct. That was the basis of on decision making of anything that the original people did. Because they don't have the technology that we have today, so they must depend on that more so than we.
I don't know. I'm under the impression that the technology has been there. It just gets destroyed, and they bring it back.
I mean,
so you have the Dark Ages and whatnot.
Yeah, like with the meditating, like I'm pretty sure, like these guys, these ecclesiastic priests, like with Gregorian chant and all these, they were doing that in the West too. They have like a similar type of thing, you know, and they have people constantly in these monasteries, just in a trance state, you know.
Yeah, all those religious kind of hymns or all of that like meditative way that repetitive, like those repetitive notes, way that they're sung, it's like just put you in that trance. So when they're in there, man, it's theater when they're in there. You know?
Yeah.
Did any of you listen to Michael Cesarian before?
Yeah, I did. I did a little bit.
Yeah, he used to talk about before anyone speak any truth to anyone, before you start telling other people to meditate and to get the answers from inside you. And I'm just thinking he's trying to get people not to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, most of them just get people to run in circles. So much disinfo coming out.
Yeah, and one of the other things he said was to just let these people destroy themselves, don't get in the way. And it's counterproductive to do that.
Yeah.
They win either way.
Have you guys heard
That's what they want. I mean, that's what the system wants right now. That's what the system wants right now, is to create this induced natural selection process. And it's pretty much most people. I don't even see what's the point of selecting anymore.
Yeah, well, the whole thing, how I see it, is just like, if this is an experiment, creation's looking at everyone, like, and if everyone has their back to creation, then it's going to let everything go the way that you want it to go. So all this mirage of religion and sport, like the whole like media is basically there, so you forget that the way you're originally supposed to think and speak with creation, So it's just that will that you lost the will of creation. So you're just willing creator. So there's no reason to stop any of it. Like they got you. So if there was a chance that creation would step in and stop some of this from happening, because enough people had functioning brains up here that it would say, okay, this experiment needs to go on. But when everyone's turned off or looking away, it's like, all right, well, lights are on, but nobody's home, so let's just let them have their way,
Probably like a certain accumulated total sum of will that creation makes sense, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what like I said, Glenn says it says 13, but I suspect it should be a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he does suggest more than that. He says 30.
Yeah. 30. Well, yeah. I mean,
maybe groups of 13.
Yeah. I mean, that's
but
not a whole lot.
But it's not a whole lot. But look at like what people have now. I mean, that's good to have. Be idealistic and look for those high numbers. But all you're having out of that is only like 5, 6, 7 people.
I have two questions for you guys. The first question is, if anyone have you ever listened to Alan Watts' Sweet Liberty shows, he mentioned something called the Masonic Triangle, where Masons would form at a specific time at different lodges that would form a triangle, and they would will their spirit. Alan Watt kept saying spirit, but I guess he means intuition. He's just trying to veil it. They would will their will to alter the minds of the people inside the triangle. Now, I was thinking that might be something similar to what Glenn might be referring to as a 13, where you will your own will.
Yeah, it's what it's a thought you're getting. Because when you understand the basic, like I guess you call it the basic principles of everything, the universe, you realize it's all a thought. What you call chaos is a thought of something else. And it's, so you work with that principle, and you try to think with that thought or whatever. It's like I don't know, like Glenn said, like some type of telephone call, like antenna or some type of signal, something like that.
Yeah. Mind over reality.
Sounds a bit like the observer effect.
It's like in that movie Waking Life, the guy said that they did experiments, right, where they had these crossroad puzzles, and they gave them to people, and then they gave these crossroad puzzles. They gave a week-old crossroad puzzle or something like that, and they gave them to people, and they saw that these people all like passed these crossroad puzzles, like by like a few percent. Meaning, but what he was trying to get at is that like it's like we're all like telepathically linked. He was saying like it's like the thought is there already somewhere.
Yeah, it was like that since they were a week old, they've already been worked out. Where the new ones they haven't been worked out yet, so there was less information on it floating around. But since the ones were completed, it was a lot easier for people to finish those because it was already thought about and they picked up on it.
Yeah, and it's just like it goes back to like I remember I made a video with that computer. There's a BBC thing. There's a story called Omega, and the machine it mentioned that like it's so many bands of it's like an infinite web of communication that people don't even see. That spans the whole globe. You know, that this thing can read though. A lot of them probably. You know. And we naturally read these things, you know, but we take it for granted. And plus, we've been like dumbed down. So,
been taught to refuse it.
Yeah.
And the second question: imagine if Hal, Neanderthals, none of this existed, and we were progressing along in our lives. What do you think would be the end products all the way at the end?
I don't know.
All the way to the end of how this sun exists till it dies out, or
end of the experiment.
End of the experiment.
It would just go back to the next universe, like it always does.
Well,
so
it would still go through the cleansing methods. It wouldn't be. It would all depend on us, man. It all depends on the ones that are what everyone did with themselves. It would still be an experiment. It would still be a test of each person individually. It might not be the same. It might not be so hard, you know, as because there hasn't been so much done purposely, but it would still be a challenge for everyone. And the ones that didn't make it, then it's still a test regardless, you know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what's outside of this test.
What's outside of the test?
I mean, you haven't even seen everything yet, so there's enough going on. Yeah. There's enough going on inside tests. Right. You know, maybe you get to go to the other one after you completed this one. You know, I don't know. that's not the task that we were assigned, because that's not where we're at. You know, we're dealing with is this here and now. So you know, you're able to perceive.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be Showtime this year. That's what it's going to be. I don't know if they're pulling the plug early, but something is definitely building up very soon, it seems. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what each one of you guys are doing right now, but that's why we're kind of asking. Glen's wife was like kind of asking what you guys going to do this year.
Yeah. That's why I was actually talking about that with Brian. Like I already have like what I'm gonna do. Like I've been kind of gearing it up for this year.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I'm back. I got knocked off.
Oh, you got knocked off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Andy was asking like what Glen's wife was saying, like what we're gonna. Well, what are we gonna do? Like,
remember what Alan Watt was always saying? Eventually, you're only able to carry what you can carry on your back.
Yep.
Remember what he said? Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably like the biggest truth he probably gave out.
Yeah, there was a lot of truths that I didn't understand, and now you understand what he's saying.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he gave out some critical truth, but it just didn't build.
Out of context,
as clearly. Yeah, it didn't just build up as clearly as
Yeah, that's how the mystery people are. Like they always put things out of their context, and you always gotta look at it. That's why I always liked surrealism in movies, cause that's exactly what they do. Like it's like surrealism is like it's like a masterful way of taking things out of context, but all you gotta do is look at the proper look at it in the context in your mind, like say the premise, and look at that, and it makes total sense. Like I've been posting up. Glenn was saying like he's been using symbolism, like he's using rafts and stuff to get this point across, because you're getting more across from just these symbols. That's why I've been posting them on Facebook. I just post this art, and it's saying more inside of that thing than I could say with words, I think.
Yeah, definitely. 1,000 words.
And you learn a lot about people, or what they have in them, and you see that the contradictions that I guess they have in themselves. I'm seeing on your Facebook thing, people are just saying love. It's just
you mean
so
my
much
Facebook
love,
page?
man. All this love shit, man. What happened?
You mean mine?
Yeah.
Talking about mine?
Yeah,
okay.
Your
yeah,
friends.
I'm on mine too. I see those those people are all for your. Like you know a lot of those people, man. I mean, you gotta be careful, man.
I'm like the shit, and they're like the fly.
Where did you meet all those people, man? It's like you got all these like.
I don't know. I don't know. I just started tracking them for some reason.
Yeah, they came to me too. I know what you're saying.
No, when you became my friend, and I started interacting with you, that's when they started to come to you.
Well, the people
you'll say things that like you'll say like because they're all about like upliftment, right? They always want to hear something uplifting and something from a monk that a monk quoted, some wise thing, and that's all. But that's it though. That's it. That's all they want to hear. You go into like something. Oh, that sounds kind of negative, and they always heal.
You're my love and light spirit, sister goddess, and all this nonsense.
Hey, well, maybe the goddess thing might have something to it, right? Because that's
Glen's wife
Jennifer's
was
role is, right?
Yeah, that's her role. Yeah.
Mother goddess.
She decided.
She's always a goddess. Even if you look at the David Icke stuff, there's always
okay.
Type of goddess. ESS, the insider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the details between David Icke and her, but but her circle basically just surrounded by like intelligence agents. They all work. They are all part of the intelligence agency. All of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who else? A lady I knew, who was involved, and just like what Jennifer was involved, something very similar. It was that lady, Dana. You remember her? She was Pat. Oh no, what was it, Pat? On the forum, she was the one that was, she's really like with the Alan Watt thing. She was like we had arguments over on Talk Show for like a while.
Oh, Jackie for True?
No.
No. You talking about the lady who came on and she was just basically like quoting Alan Watts stuff? That one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of her.
I think Neo might know her. I don't know.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Talking about Buddy?
Buddy. Is that what her name is? No, not no. I think
Buddy's on the forum, right?
No, not Outlaw Forum. I'm talking about. She was from Chicago. This lady. She was used by people and intelligence agents and stuff. And she was same thing. She had to like go in hiding. She had to like kind of like just keep a low cover, just like Glen's wife did.
Who is that?
Well, whatever they're doing to them, it's exactly what they wanted to do to them. Like where Glen's wife is, that's exactly where they want her to be.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that like these people that surround Glenn, those people are like paying for the house and shit. I think they part of it, man. They like they're Valkyries, man. Like it's open, it's admitted.
Right.
They're Valkyries, and that shit that Barbara said, man, kind of stuck in my mind, man. She's saying, she's making her look like she somehow like prophesized that through her cards, but really, that's what they wanted from the.
Well, it just seems to be there seems to be some disagreement between the higher ups. That's the only reason why. I mean, they haven't, I guess, got rid of them. I mean, I don't know why they would keep them around. They're going to cause so much trouble for them.
Yeah, Glenn was telling me like those Valkyrie people are like freelancers. Like they kind of move differently.
Yeah.
Valkyries. Well, Valkyrie's just one part of it. I mean,
and then
are they at war with the Grey Nuns? I don't know. I mean, a whole bunch of fractions of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. I had asked Alan Watt if there was groups that were against the New World Order, and on his radio show, he had some people ask him the same question, and basically he'd dodge it, or he'd say that they weren't on anyone's side, basically. It'd be interesting to find out if there are other groups.
Well, they're not really against it. They just want to be on top of it.
Yeah.
On top. It's like the throne. They're all fighting for the throne. I mean, they're all going for it, but who's going to be on top?
Has anyone heard of the show First Wave?
First Waves.
Yeah, First Wave. It was a sci-fi show based on the Nostradamus book.
No, I haven't.
And it's about an alien invasion, and the aliens use human bodies. They're on the Earth doing all these experiments, and
Is that show current?
No, it had 3 seasons. It was directed by what's his name from Snake Eyes, the actor. He was in Con Air too.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola directed the show. He's linked to Cage, and basically in the show there was a secret group of humans on the planet outside of the government, and they knew about the aliens, but they were all ex-military and just people who found out about the aliens through personal experience, and they were a secret society themselves.
Well, you can't do anything these days without being part of it,
Yeah.
It's very typical. We're all track. I mean, we
just makes me wonder if there's a secret society that knows about like the computer and stuff and are trying to fight it.
Well, a lot of it's weird. Like a lot of people know, and then like like it's like two factions. It's like a higher and an upper, and the higher keeps shit from the lower, and then above the higher is the unknown superior. I mean, yeah, I was reading about that, and it's like they talk about that, the unknown superior, in the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
They mention that.
The unknown which?
The unknown superior. It's just that, like, you can't like just read it and just be like, okay, like you kind of got like look between the lines what you're reading with that shit.
When you guys were interviewing Alan Watt before, did anybody talk about Olympians and how he's linked to it?
I asked him, but he ignored it.
He ignored it. And then he's part of it,
He answered the other questions, but he didn't answer anything regarding Olympians or 360-degree Masons.
Their new headquarters somewhere in Colorado, Denver, around that area. I think there's a Mount Olympia or something, Olympus, somewhere around there. I think that's their new headquarters. They moved it over there,
But I remember one thing he said. There was somebody asking him on his show about the 360-degree Olympians, and he wouldn't name any names because he said basically kind of said he got information from them. And also he said Prince Charles wouldn't be one because he's too stupid.
Prince Charles? Who's Prince Charles?
Oh, yeah, I remember what you're talking about,
Yeah, I remember it.
I haven't heard of the name before.
Who?
Is it Prince Charles? Who's
Prince Charles.
Oh, Prince Charles. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's part of it?
Well, everybody's part of it, man.
They're all beaker babies.
Sorry, I was just cut off.
It's like that's what it is. People on that Boeing shit, man. Like.
Sorry, I'm back. I got cut off.
Oh, you got cut off?
Yeah. Right after I mentioned Prince Charles.
Yeah, it was just saying like people are all like a part of this stuff, like because they're all like part of that, like that Boeing. I mean, it's just like when I look at people when I look at officers, like I've been noticing that, like how they all have short hair, and a lot of them are bald, man, clean shape, and they just kind of just do what they were programmed to do. Like they don't really, like it's like what Glenn said. They're not thinking the way they're supposed to originally. They're kind of thinking the way the system, I guess.
That's what program does. Programming.
I just don't know how Glenn can remember all that detail. Which is amazing.
You keep going over and over and over and over and over and over.
It's the focus, I guess. Yeah. I mean, we're just.
Not only that, it's also having the opportunity to say it, to speak about it.
Yeah,
you do it enough, then you're like used to it. It's like you keep connecting it.
Yeah.
Because it's all connected, so it's like wherever you want to start from, and then. That's why it's good to have 13 people or more, with their own book of life, because that's where they're starting from, and they can relate it that way. So you would never see it that way, because you're starting from a different point. You have a different vantage point,
Right.
We're standing on the top of mountains or skyscrapers. We each got a different view. So I can describe my view the way I do, and you use yours.
Yeah. Yeah, like my view is kind of limited because of my age, but it's still.
You're getting up there, Jared. Remember,
Yeah.
I talked to you last week. You had, like, you talked pretty much through the straight whole 2 hours.
Oh yeah. I mean, we all, I think we're all getting up there. It's just that we all have, I guess, that different experience, and you gotta think about it, like our lives are like, my life is kind of short, man. I'm only 27, man. Like, so it's not like, and I speak to people who are like 40, 50, and they can catch on things that, to me, it's like, why? How can you, catch on to that? It's because they lived it, and it's, that living that experience kind of gives you a lot, man. It gives you
what's going to be sad is when we're 50 and the people we grew up with aren't going to be able to catch this stuff because their memories have been attacked.
well,
or they just never.
I see that. I see people who can't.
Right now.
Oh yeah,
around,
I see it now. It's going to be even worse then.
Right now, I mean, right now the only person that's most knowledgeable in this that we found so far is Glenn. And once Glenn's gone, I don't know who else could take his place. I mean, I just don't see the amount of. I think a lot of
the
knowledge
is
just
important,
get lost.
but it's also like that like, see, Glenn's like that masculine part that's important, right? And that's cool, but like, to think that that's the only thing that's important is like the same principle of like with Neanderthal. This is like, you know what, clan mode is not even important in my plan. It's all about me, and you lose something when you take away, because that past, it's a different type of knowledge applied differently, I think.
Yeah. You need that woman.
Yeah, man, because we lose that, because we're like males, and we lose that perspective. Like, we just lose, like we don't notice it. We don't even know it. Like you said, we don't deal with those feelings. And I see, that's the thing, I noticed that, like, with all those, like those people on Facebook I talk to, like, women, like, they're constantly, like, all these feelings all the time.
That's why they
Their
talk
judgments
like that,
are based off of feelings. What happened?
That's why they talk like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, man.
And it kind of drives me, sometimes it does drive me crazy. It can drive me crazy because there's no, like, there's no, like, rationale behind it, a lot of it. Like, and maybe because I'm a man, I'm just all this reason, but I try to use that feminine part of that intuition.
Because women are the nurturer, so they have to have, like, that.
Yeah, they got to be like that on 24/7. Yeah.
They have that more. Man is more like, to the point.
Yeah. Go pick that up and put that together. You don't need no feelings for that, man.
Because really, if you look at it, humans, like, their minds only develop properly if they have the correct feeling or love put towards them as a child.
Exactly.
If you're missing, like, that kind of love that nurture when you're younger, you look for it when you're older. You might not know you're looking for it, but that's what, like, a girl might be a prostitute or a stripper because she didn't have that love from her father. So she's looking for it in other men, or she's looking for older men to show her that. So if you're like, if that process is messed up or disturbed, people are you grow up all fucked up.
Yeah, man, and that's what a lot of people have. Like, that's what you hear a lot of these celebrities. Oh, look at the rappers, man. Like, a lot of them are people who didn't have that when they're young, and they're kind of like lashing out in a way, like.
Yeah, your mom stealing your money so she could buy some, a drug, get high or whatever, or to get a drink, and all these dudes are coming in your house, like,
Yeah, man, how you raised as a child, and this is all perfected by the system. Like, how certain things as a child, like, will affect you, man. Your whole perspective, the rest of your life, man.
Yeah. Like other women that are, like, helped up by their siblings or uncles or, molested or raped, like, they're done as far as, like, trying to see men as non-threatening, or, like, you're just trying to get something from me, like, you're here just to take this from me, like. And that's a person that they have that inside. You might not ever know that they have that inside, but they treat you that way, you know, because that's how they're basing everything off of. You know, that's their vantage point. You know, and that's just that type of thing. So.
Yeah, you know, so it becomes like an auction. That's what it is, man. Like when you look at a female in a club, it's just an auction. Like that's when you add the money into it, like that monetary gain. Like
the money offers their chance to escape whatever they were going through.
Yeah.
You know, I could be happy now because, you know, this money will take me this far away from this problem.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that. So they chase that, or look for men to take care of them to chase. You know.
Yeah.
That security. That's what's safe.
And then men are thinking kind of safe too, like in a way, man. I kind of see that with men now, because everything they do is kind of around the world. Like they'll do whatever is safe. Okay, if I dress like this, that's safe. Women will see me. Okay, I'm safe. I'll still.
You talking about men that are in relationships, right?
Yeah, like I just see men. The things that they do, like I just see men like.
But men
the way they dress is like it's like the way they dress, right? It's not. I don't think it's something that they would even just if it was all in their own volition. Like I don't even think they would dress like that, man. Because it's all because like what women. Oh, see, because women are given like dolls and shit, man, and they're taught to sculpt shit out, people, and you know.
Yeah.
You know, the men become their dolls, and they just kind of sculpt them, and oh, well, that looks good in my eyes, you know. And
yeah,
men
and that's why they're the insiders, man. That's what a woman does.
Yeah.
They get inside your home, and then now the man is going on that whatever path that she. Because then at the end of the day, you got to make the woman happy. If she's not happy, no one's happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
If your girlfriend's not happy, your wife's not happy, no one in the house is happy until she's happy again. It's not who cares if the man's not happy. Like most people don't even, you know, most families don't revolve around the man being happy.
Well, the man gets happy pretty simply, man. He doesn't need a lot to get happy.
Got to play with his balls a little bit. He's good. He's back on track.
Yeah,
any of you? A quick question for you guys. Any of you suspect do you have any family member that you suspect is part of something that? You think they're hiding something from you?
Yeah, I know. Probably. I think everybody.
I'm sorry?
I think everybody does, man. Everybody.
You think everybody's a family member or your parent, perhaps even, hiding something from you?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
I don't necessarily. Maybe I don't think directly, but if they're still in the system, man, then they're basically your enemy anyway, in a way, because they're just trying to. Yeah, it's like a Neanderthal talking to you. When you hear them, like they're telling you to cut your hair, they're telling you to do this and straighten, trying to get you back in line in the system, get you back in the system. So that's true. Without them even knowing it.
Right. I'm not saying it in that particular manner. I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's like you think
I don't
it's
think
part
so,
of some organization. That's what I'm saying. Do you suspect?
I mean, maybe.
Do any of you suspect anything? I mean, how did you get your name, first of all? You know.
I got my name from my father.
Right. So therefore, you know, if your name's very specific, gender specific, then you probably suspect something.
Oh, my name has a bit of weirdness to it, actually. My mom named me Brandon, and here's the interesting thing, because you already know there's a bra in the name, right?
Yeah.
Well, if I was a girl, you know what she would have called me? Brandy.
Brandy.
It would have still been a bra name.
Yeah.
No matter which gender I was.
All right. I see.
Yeah.
If these names, like, they're almost like, in a lot of people, like it's like they almost unconsciously they name them these names. That's why I think like there's
I think
a
that's
lot
what it
we
is
miss
too.
with that like information that people like through the medulla are programmed or not, or, because like it's like well Boeing's are with these medullas and like it's like they do things but don't fully understand why they do these things. Like I see people who named. I met somebody yesterday. His name is Boaz. I'm like, wow. I'm like, do you know him? He's like, yeah, oh yeah, my parents named me that. It's biblical. Or like my name. You know where I found my name, man? It's spelled with a G. It's in Norse mythology. It's his name was Jared. Jared or Gerd. I don't know how people want to pronounce it, but it's like there was this lady that fucking one of these guys like wanted to marry. He felt like it was totally mystical, allegorical, like how I describe it. It was like it's this guy. I forgot. He was like a happy-go-lucky guy. Never seen anything horrible in his life. So his perspective on life was like, oh, happy. And he climbed up into Odin's seat because Odin's seat, you could see everything, see the whole world from that perspective. Huh? Yeah, and so he climbed up and he could see everywhere from Odin's high seat or whatever, and he said he saw this girl that was like some lady, and he saw and like this was the lady Jared, but I think this lady when they said that the way they described like how he saw like I think there was times saying like it was like a look into the future like this is like the this new slave or whatever.
Sure. Sorry for stopping you for a second here. And guys, I'm going to take off. And I definitely want a copy of today's audio recording. There's so many information that's so valuable. I haven't heard before. Yeah, sure. If you can send us a link to this download, I would really appreciate it. I gotta go.
It's all right. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Good. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
bye.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah. Who else is there?
I'm still here.
Yeah.
So it's just us three? Neo is there?
Us three?
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm gonna have to go in a minute.
yeah, I'm gonna go too. So yeah, man, that was definitely something I heard it before, but this time I heard it in like maybe it was a different context or something. Cause sometimes I'll hear something again, but like.
Isn't also the name Gertie? I know someone named Birdie.
Birdie?
Kind of like, yeah.
I know I have a cousin named Gerdy. Well, a friend of the family. It's definitely linked to French, man. It's a French link in there. You would understand what that word is, or the links to it, if you understood like French.
Yeah.
If I understood French more. It's almost like a you are in that name too, because it's pronounced the same way. In the middle of my name, it's ER, but you could make it a UR because it'll still be pronounced the same way.
Yeah. Speaking of knowing what to look for, I was watching Seinfeld the other day, and you guys are gonna laugh because the sex in a sandwich thing that the guys are interested in. Well, basically, George on the show, the fat guy, he was seeing a woman in a relationship, and he got the idea, why can't I eat a sandwich and have sex at the same time? And the episode revolved around him doing that, and he had all these ideas, and eventually, in the end of the episode, what he tried to do and failed was he tried to have sex, eat a sandwich, and watch TV. So he's trying to get the media in there too, which I thought was pretty funny. And you wouldn't even think of looking for that if you didn't know any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, premise.
Sex, the sandwich, and the media.
That's kind of like saying a 3-in-1, slave. It'll have its sex and sandwich all in the breast. When it inseminates itself, it'll be sex and the media in the head. Like, that's kind of like, it was a kind of veiled way of saying that. The way it was.
Yeah.
And we want all of that.
3-in-1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, at the end of the episode, he finds this other woman, and they start making out in the kitchen, and she starts doing that stuff. So it was like a match.
Of course. That's the goal of the woman, so.
Yeah.
Through the woman.
Yeah, she's the one who turned on the TV.
She's the one that...
He just wanted himself. He's probably so happy, right?
Yeah.
That's
kind of linked to the allegory. Like, you said that he just wanted himself, and so she's a man and he's a man, so it's kind of like he just wants himself.
And she wanted the sandwich too, because the whole thing started off because they were talking about the pastrami.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is allegory in Seinfeld.
Yeah. Right now I'm looking at stuff that this guy, what's his name, posted. You remember Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Look, posted
on Facebook.
Yeah. Like this whole code page.
I did
I guess
get.
I'll talk to you guys because I'm kind of I'm just gonna think about some stuff now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was just about to say I got PDF, like digital versions of those Freemasonic encyclopedias. And
but they're
the
not. They're
copyright
all
is
like
out.
new. Are they the old ones? Because I did know some of them like that I found on the internet.
It's a 1914 one.
Oh really?
And volume 2 is the 1916 one. I got them both.
Oh.
I can email them or something because there's no copyright on them anymore.
Cool.
Well, that's cool.
Email.
I can even put them on a website somewhere.
That's cool. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Send them to Jared and send them to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on my Facebook, Brandon. It's under Dana. Yeah.
Okay. I'll add them to mine.
All right.
Cool.
It was nice talking to you. It was a good talk today.
Yeah, it was.
I'll talk to you guys again.
Okay.
Are you going to be calling Glenn next week?
Maybe. I guess we should, man, because this year is like,
yeah,
kind of like,
He suggested it too. If you guys are, I'll be in on that.
Yeah, I might do that because, yeah, I don't know.
I want to talk to him about the computer and stuff, and maybe a bit of Buddhism and things.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
That's why we have. There's things that, like, if you notice, like, when we talk with him, like, he can't really go into that. Like, he's kind of, like, talking about, like, the things that he's found, looking at all the evidence. And we're looking at, like, well, can we go all the way back here and this, 5, 6, 10 years ago when you were looking at this? And it's kind of like...
Well, sometimes you can bring a new light to an old.
That's why I thought we
theory.
could all talk about that stuff because, we're all like kind of around the same age, so.
Yeah, I think I might bring some insight into it because I'm very computer savvy.
Yeah, you know, like that's, and plus you live up there, like.
Yeah, I live near him. Probably a couple-hour drive.
Man, I'd take advantage of that, man. I've been there a long time ago. If I had that, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
I need a vacation.
You don't gotta cross any borders, man. Just put some gas and some time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for
cool.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll talk to you guys again.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Good night.
Okay.
Night, guys.